Hi everyone, Lozanne here from Six Seasons Market. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a lovely Southwest WA day. No, I'm lying. It's been a really awful day, but luckily both Sarah and I are warm in our houses, and we are really excited to be talking about this month's challenge that a lot of people are participating in, Plastic Free July. And I asked Sarah to explain to us a little bit more about what it is and how we can incorporate it in our lives, because it impacts our lives health-wise, and it impacts our Earth's health. So it's definitely a topic that is very universal for both of us. So, and Sarah, I'll send it over to you. Can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little about yourself and how you've become so passionate about this Plastic Free July.
Sure. Well, it's great to be here, and it's great to chat with you. Like you say, it's horrible outside. It's cold and wet, but I'm all warm and toasty in my little space.
My cheeks gone red.
Yeah.
From this.
Oh, yeah. So I've just recently set up my little page, the Sacred Earth Pantry, which is it's a bit of a community page / business page of sharing, and it was really a way to put all my little passions into one toolbox, and to just start sharing and educating and empowering lots of people, and you know, learning myself as we're going along. So yeah, recycled plastics have always been a nuisance in my life, and I think it's definitely a step-by-step leveling approach that we need. Yes, it would be fabulous to get rid of every plastic product out there, but I think we've just got to break the whole problem down and just make sure that we are acting responsibly ourselves and doing the best that we can do to reduce, you know, the great big plastic problem that there is. So yeah, when I saw the Plastic Free July popped up on my Facebook page, I just thought, well, this is a bit of a no-brainer. I can do this. But it's actually become quite challenging, because the more you learn, the more knowledge you gain, the more you want to do, and you know, that list of little conquers just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I just have to keep reminding myself to bring everything back, do one step at a time. So yeah, it's really interesting, and I'm you know, meeting lots of really inspiring people throughout this course. So it's great, and it's so wonderful that so many people share this passion, because I think, you know, as one person you can do a little bit, but the more people that join together on this whole cause of, you know, a healthy body, a healthy planet, a healthy mind, then, you know, we will make a difference. So yeah, it's very exciting.
It all draws parts from consciousness. I feel if we are conscious about ourselves, our community, the earth, it makes a harmonious system. And to be obliviously just going through life, you know, it kind of is counterintuitive for our bodies as well. So I'm completely on board with the Plastic Free July as well. I've not done the challenge. I am decided not to do challenges this month, so after my last month's one. But so what precisely is Plastic Free July?
Well, it's Plastic Free July it was actually an initiative that was born in Western Australia, in Perth, in 2011. And it's
Quite
just
young.
grown rapidly. Yeah, rapidly and rapidly, to over, there's over 14,000 individuals were joined the July challenge. That was in 2014.
Wow.
So it was a step. Yeah, I know. And so now I'm not sure what the precise figures are. I will be able to find out. But so it was 2011. It was a local community in Perth. And it was an initiative to educate people about the importance of reuse. But I think things have escalated since 2014, and now the message is to actually refuse. And they always used to be reduce, reuse, recycle. But it seems to be growing to refuse, first of all. So we have the right to refuse single-use plastic. Reduce, so we reduce everything that is, that can't be recycled, can't be reused. Obviously reuse as much as we can, repair as much as we can. We've become this terrible society where we buy something, if something falls apart, and so it gets thrown away. But there is no away. Where is away? This plastic is made, and it's here forever. It's never ever going away.
Out of sight, out of mind, kind of thing.
We've
become a disposable culture. I know things like nappies were invented as a instant replacement for nappies when traveling and things like that. So a convenient product has become an everyday product like nappies. So I didn't use nappies with my kids just for that reason, that they end up in the landfill, and as soon as they're out in the bin and taken away, you forget about it. So single-use plastics are the same. You forget about them as soon as they're in the bin.
Well, that's right. And so this really is, I mean, with everything, there's lots of different levels that you can take. But with the Plastic Free July, it's a challenge that's set up so that everybody can reach it. Everybody can. And there's the basic 4, which is when I first saw this, I thought, oh, well, yeah, I've got that covered. I don't use plastic shopping bags. I take my own bags if I go to the supermarket. Plastic coffee cups. So I never travel far without my my little travel cup. And even if I have a coffee, it's the cafe owners are actually quite approachable, and you just hand them your cup, and quite often they might give you a little discount, for using your own cup. I actually drink Creo brew, so every day I put 2 little tablespoons of brew in the bottom of my cup, and it's got a little filter. So it brews in there for 10 minutes, push it down, and then that's what I use all day at work. So you can do the same with coffee, loose teas. You just find out what actually works for you. So there's a plastic shopping bag, single-use shopping bags. Coffee cups, straws, and once again you have to actually say to people, please don't give me a straw, because it's just become the normal thing. You go out for dinner, they see you have children, they pop a straw in, or you get a drink, they give you a straw. It's not even a choice, and that straw is going to be here forever.
And how silly is the fanciness of having 2 straws?
Oh, that's right.
It's mind-boggling, the insanity of putting 2 straws in a martini glass, which is for just fanciness. It's really insane. Yeah, no, I'm completely
And so the 4 out of the 4 is bottled water. You know, so if throughout the month of July we can refuse plastic shopping bags, refuse takeaway coffee cups, refuse straws, and refuse bottled water, and these things are all, they're all very small things, but they're very achievable. They just take a little bit of organisation, and I think, you know, getting yourself prepared and organised, remembering how many times you get to the supermarket, oh, my bags are in the car, or, you know, you have the best plans, but, you know, so many people, oh, I forgot to bring my bags. Well, that you know, it's all about setting your own goals and sticking to them, which is all about being organised.
Yeah.
You know, I have a stainless steel water bottle that I fill up, you know, filtered water, fill that up. That's always with me. The children don't go anywhere. Well, none of us go anywhere without our water bottle. Yet you see people coming out of supermarkets with 24 bottles, all wrapped in plastic, of water. And you think, well, how long has that taken to make? First of all, what resources have been involved in getting it there? And it's only going to be used for 10 minutes. And then what? Well, then it gets put away back in the big away pile. And these things are, there's very small steps, but if we can all conquer that, you know, that's making a huge difference. So that is why, that was how Plastic Free July was first introduced, as 4 simple steps. And then it's just a matter of building on that, and just being aware of how much single-use plastic that there is in our society. And I think, you know, having that knowledge and acknowledging, it's a funny thing, isn't it? You know, if you hear somebody's pregnant, a girlfriend's pregnant, then you automatically, you start seeing lots and lots of pregnant people around. It's the same thing with single-use plastic. We're only halfway through July, and, you know, I'm thinking, how much more of this can I take? But then you just have to keep reeling it back in and thinking you just do as best as you can. And then, you know, you do have little slip-ups, but you acknowledge those slip-ups and think, right, well, if I was more prepared, that I wouldn't have had to accept that, you know. You take your own containers to the deli if you would like to buy cheese. Get them to put cheese and your meat into a little container. Then you bring that home.
Well, that's awesome. I'd never buy from the delis. I've got completely too high standards for delis around WA, for that matter. So, yeah, no, that's a very interesting one. I would love to spread that a little bit. I don't think people know that they can take their multiple use containers to delis and sell them. Even for people who buy salads from the delis for lunchtime, they are close to a shopping centre or something, and they can just go and get the containers filled. I love that. I'll promote that a little bit more as well. So for in the short term, you recommend the 4 big ones. So refuse plastic bags, refuse coffee cups and have a replacement stainless steel one with you at all times, and straws, and what was the last one?
Well, bottled water. You know, rather than water, you have your reusable water bottle. That I have my stainless steel one, and sometimes I'll use an old Passata jar. You know, a glass jar. They're fabulous for everything.
Yeah,
I am known as the crazy jar lady to. You know,
there's a lot of crazy jar ladies. I mean, I'm a ball kind of jar lady, the old pickle jars with the double screw lid.
Yeah.
I'm one of those ladies, yeah. And I look extremely hip, going around with my 1 liter bowl
Yeah.
jar. But anyway, we are jar ladies.
Yeah, and I think that's it's a very, very simple philosophy. You know, there's nothing unachievable about Plastic-Free July. If anything, it just gives you more time to stop and think, oh, how could I avoid that actually making its way back into my house? And unfortunately, it comes down to price, doesn't it? Because, you know, the way we've been conditioned to shop is all about the dollar or the pound, wherever you're listening, or whatever currency. And, you know, if you are a supermarket shopper, then it's very, very difficult to keep your goals in mind, because you're going around that maze of goods, and it's all about the price. And yes, it's cheaper, you get your specials, you know, and like for cheese, for example, it's probably much cheaper to buy cheese down the cheese aisle than it is to go and buy it at the deli. So then you end up with this big block of cheese all wrapped in plastic, and it's going to sit in the fridge. What's going to happen to the plastic? And then you have to, you know, how are you going to get rid of this? You can't compost it. You know, it has to go into a recycling station. And that is just like a minefield to me. I would choose not to have to deal with the fallout of the wrappers, because how confusing are the bins? You know, you've got your green bin at home, and then you've got your recycling bin, you've got your rubbish bin. And now the supermarkets have got the red cycle bins, which are fabulous.
Yes.
But you read the list of things. Who seriously is going to go with the bag? Who's got the time? You know, people don't have the time to read. Oh, hang on, can I put this one in here? You know, it's just, and I just think, to me, it's just such a no-brainer. If we don't accept all this plastic, then we've got so much more time. We don't have to think how are we going to get rid of this, or, you know. And ultimately, people don't, and it all goes in the landfill. And it's
what is the danger of it going into landfill? Why are we trying to avoid sending plastics to landfill?
Well, the plastic, it will never compost. It doesn't break down. When we recycle plastics, they call it downcycle. So if the things that go into the recycling actually get taken to where they're heading, or where we aim that they're going to go, and then they call it downcycling. So they might, you know, the plastics will then get turned into plastic wood, it's called. All that, you know, furniture. That, yes, it's a good thing that they are recycling, and they're turning this product that was created that will never, ever, ever go away into something else. But do we really want to surround ourselves in a world full of plastic, more things that are just made out of the original plastic in the first place? You know?
Yeah, it's a kind of a chicken and the egg kind of, or the snake eating its tail solution. We've created so much plastic now that we can't actually get rid of it, so we have to find another use for it, but we will still be with it until the end. So I think if there's enough momentum, we can have a lifestyle, a culture where they don't produce stuff for us anymore like that. I know there's a community in Japan that recycle everything that they have. They are a zero waste community. And it took them, I think, 10 years, they said, to get to where they are now. and they're not completely 100% waste free. They still aim to be there, I think, in 2020 to be completely 100% waste free. But they spoke to, there's a lot of education that goes into educating people how to recycle, and new people that come in, teaching them. But I mean, when I was living in Germany 20 years ago, we had, I think, about 5 bins, and that was 20 years ago. So in Australia, we are extremely behind. We are complacent, but I still feel that there's a real current of people who want to make a difference. And I hope this podcast or this webinar would be for those people who feel like, gee whiz, I can get rid of straws in my house, or I don't need to buy them, or I can, put a few material bags at the front door when I go out every morning after I did my shopping, so they are in the car when I need them. That's what I do. I've got about 7 of them in the car, because I've been caught out. I've been caught out quickly. The shops and oh crap, no bags and no boxes, so I need to take a plastic bag. Also, long-term things. What can we aim for? So we're aiming to get rid of the big 4 in the short term. What can we aim for in the long term to get rid of?
Yeah, well, this is interesting because Plastic Free July is all about July. But I mean, if you didn't join on the 1st of July, you can start start now, and it's not just for July. There was a little box. If you go onto Plastic Free July website, you can still register, and there is just so much information. There's so many different people sharing ideas, and it's really very personal journey that you put yourself on. I mean, I confess I am a bit of a hoarder. I am a hoarder, and I think that comes from that when you have a thrifty lifestyle, or you don't want to throw things away, you think you can reuse them. But I've been reading all about a lady in Perth, and her site is Treading My Own Path. She has just got a wealth of information. So I've been following some of her posts all about being minimalist, and my family just laugh blatantly in my face because it's but it's all about aiming. I would like to become a minimalist with a real passion, and I think but I know that is going to take a long time. It's and I think the way to sort of get there really is to just keep on my path. That if you can at least start with refusing the single-use plastic and using everything that, I don't buy a lot of things in jars anymore, because I tend to, buy tomatoes in bulk when they're in season, and I'll bottle my own, make my own sauces and things. But I think if something does come into the house, if it can be reused, then I would choose to reuse it rather than recycle it. And I think that's a conscious thing when you're actually shopping. You buy, you go to buy something. What is going to happen to that item when I don't want it anymore? It's great that we've got op shops. I frequent them a lot. But I don't, the op shops it's not a dumping ground for everything that we don't want, and they still have to deal with it, so once it's out your house, that's not the end of the problem. You know, it still has to go somewhere. Otherwise, it goes into the away again,
Yeah.
wherever that is.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I think just having those eyes when you look around, have a look in your cupboards. You know, when we stop buying things in packets or things that have packaging, we actually start eating a lot healthier. You know, we're treating our bodies with health. You know, it's everything. You go in your bathroom, you go in the toilet. You know, my toilet rolls haven't had any plastic wrapping for a couple of years. You know, it's just fabulous. And the toilet rolls, that the paper that they're wrapped in, well, they can be used to line the bin in the bathroom. You don't need a plastic bag in your bin. You know, it's just tiny little things that make the most out of everything that you've got. And rather than just thinking, oh, well, that's okay because it can be recycled. You know, I think we've got to go a little bit deeper and just actually start refusing first, far and foremost, before it goes recycle. That's really the last of the 6. Refuse, reduce, reuse, repair, rot, and recycle. I mean, how easy is it to have a compost? Yet it's, you know, it can fall into the too hard basket. I used to be in primary schools, and so I would always have my 5-litre white bucket with a lid for chuck scraps. You know, and once, I mean, working in a kindy and a pre-primary, there are so many food scraps, and it just goes in the landfill. And once the food goes into the landfill, then as it breaks down, it's actually releasing all these, you know, methane, nasty gases that we don't want in our air.
And the worst is they sometimes covered, or they wrapped up. I just think of spinach in bags that gets moldy, and well, it starts decomposing within like the first week of having it in the fridge anyway. And then you put that in the bin, that goes to landfill, and that soupy mess.
Yeah, it's just shocking. It's shocking, isn't it? But you know, for a lot of people, I mean, we have chickens, so there's never enough food scraps for the chickens. We can never create too many food scraps. So when I was in the primary school, it was fabulous because it was a win-win for everybody. You know, the bin wasn't getting anything, the chickens were getting fed, and it was educating the children at such a young age about what is food scraps and what's going in the bin. So every morning, you know, morning tea and lunchtime, we'd have this little chat about, oh, don't want to give that to my chickens. Oh, the chickens aren't going to eat that. And yeah, so they would have that visual, hands-on, oh, this is the food scraps and this will go in the bin. And unfortunately, well, let's not get started on children's lunchboxes.
Yeah,
but
that's a topic for another day.
Another webinar. But yeah, even if you don't have chickens and if you don't have a compost set up, it's literally just a matter of digging a hole in the garden, the scraps, cover it over. You know, it can be as simple as that.
All right, so Sarah, where can we find more about the Plastic Free July, and how can we support you in learning more and learning what you love? I think the connection is a little bit weak now.
So all these little steps that we can do, they're almost like little pieces of the jigsaw puzzle that we put all together, and then that creates the healthy life that we want and that we can give to our beautiful planet. And I think that gets forgotten. Just a simple little thought. We're all just so busy and everything's so fast that, you know, just to stop and acknowledge what you are doing is a huge step. Without physically doing anything, I think that's the best place and everybody can do that. That involves just being still for a couple of minutes. Yeah. And then having that education where you choose exactly what you want to do. You know, it's a personal choice. And once you start, you get so caught up in the wave that you declare you would like to be a minimalist, like me. But I'm a long way off that, that's for sure. Let's just make that very clear.
I'll save minimalism for my retirement. Until then, I would love
but I think it would
and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm actually joining a challenge on Sunday, starting Sunday, through Lisa Corda. She's doing a week challenge on decluttering. And I trust her because she's a lot like me, a crazy mum with 2 kids. Well, she's got 3 kids, I've got 2. And she's got a business and she's not a neat freak and things like that. So I'm looking forward to learning what she has to share. It's free and people can do it through her site. I think it closes tomorrow, the sign up. But that's quite an interesting challenge for next week, is the decluttering. And a lot of plastics, I'm going to be certain there's going to be a lot of plastic come out of my decluttering. And I'll use the principles that I've learned from you to either reuse them in a way, recycle them, or repurpose them for someone else. Definitely. So, Sarah, people can find you at the Sacred Pantry. Is that right?
The Sacred Earth Pantry.
Sacred Earth Pantry.
Yeah. And it's a very new and it's an evolving site. So yeah, but the main focus has been health, nutrition, you know, the whole package, because it's not, food is very, very important, and I have a huge passion for food as medicine. But it's more about food. Obviously we eat, but we're more about the food that we eat. So it's just encompassing that holistic life
of who we are. It's a holistic way of thinking of our lives, that our food is medicine, our thoughts are medicine as well, because what we think we are. And I love it. So I'm so happy that you could make some time tonight to talk with me about this small thing that has such a massive impact on our lives, plastic. It's small changes that we can make. Refusing things and rethinking them is quite easy. 6 Seasons, in that matter, also helps give substitutes for things. So if anyone was wondering how they can substitute things with it, just get in contact with 6 Seasons and we will have a plan or create a plan. I'm all about a plan. But Sarah, thank you ever so much for the time tonight to talk with me and just get us a little bit more inspired to take responsibility for the things we bring in.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. It's I mean, there's a wealth of information, but I would really, really recommend just having a look at the Plastic Free July website. And even if you don't sign up for the challenge, it just gives you the knowledge so that, once you know about something, then, you have the choice to act on it.
Yeah.
So yeah. And look, it's been great. We could talk about this all night.
let us talk about food.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's right.
I loved your dehydrator. A friend of mine was looking for one the other day, and I have a El Cheapo one I got from eBay, and I know this is not plastic thing now, but I have a complete envy of a Excalibur now, and my friend wants to buy one, and I'm like kicking myself that she wants to buy one and from this lady, and I'm like, oh gosh, I really wanted the Excalibur, but I have to get rid of the other one first. So it's a little bit of a juggling. I still have to dehydrate anyway.
Oh,
I haven't dehydrated in a long time.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I love my dehydrator, and I'm, you know, and I must say I'm so pleased that I can get my my bulk foods through 6 seasons. It just makes life so much easier.
Thank you.
And when you do buy in bulk, I mean, and it's the whole thing. You know, you're not. If you can buy a kilo of almonds in one little single-use plastic packet. But if you buy 5 kilos, then it's still coming in a plastic packet, but it's 5 kilos and it's a Ziploc bag. So then it becomes used as storage. My smaller ones, if I've run out of passata jars, I use it for my bone broth stock to go in the freezer. Just because I prefer to use glass.
Yeah.
But if I don't have it in glass, and it's just conditioning you. If you are going to be bringing this into your house, then you have a right to give it more than one use before it goes away. You know, so it's a bit of a responsibility, really. But they work really well, and obviously, you don't want to heat things up in the plastic. But if it's just going in the freezer,
yeah. No, I love that. I'm going to use that tip. I haven't used it before. And it's true. The plastic is fine. It's food safe because they had food in it before. And it's got a Ziploc, which most perfectly fine for broth. So I think that's a absolutely smashing idea. I'm definitely going to do that. Right. And I always run out of space with my broth. I have this thing of overfilling. So,
oh yeah.
So a 1 kilogram bag might be enough.
Yeah, no, that's good. So yeah, there's and
I guess that's awesome idea, Sarah. Thank you. Keep those ones popping up on your feed. That's brilliant content. I think you can just plug those ones constantly.
Yeah, oh yeah, and obviously if anyone else has got any great tips to share, then message me. It'd be fabulous.
All right.
And we can sharing, because we never ever stop learning. You know, it's this is another passion of mine, but I know there's lots of people out there who know a lot more than me, and they're doing lots more different things. But it's all about sharing. If we share the knowledge, then we can all grow together.
Yeah. We don't have we don't have copyright over this information. Sharing is what we want to do. We want to have more people living better lifestyles, and I'm so happy you could spend the night with me sharing what you love. I'm sure we will have more to talk about in another day, but
we will.
Now, if anyone wants to contact Sarah, please do through her page, The Sacred Earth Pantry, or get in touch with me at 6 Seasons and I can get you in contact with Sarah. Sarah, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Hope you stay warm.
You too. Okay then, speak to you soon.
Will do. Bye.
See you.